and squeeze it until it can't breathe anymore. And when it's dead, then she swallows it. She swallows her food whole. She can't chew. She can't chew her food. I can feel her belly scales on my hand, that she's using them to move. I think she's so cool. I think she's pretty. She's orange. She's got kind of red blotches on her back, and they're outlined in black. I don't know if you can see it, but what is she doing with her tongue right now?
Sticking it out.
She's sticking it out. Why? Why do you think she's sticking it out?
Because
I know, right?
So she can't just like open her mouth. So she just
Don't touch her mouth.
then it just goes out.
Touch your eye.
Well, when her mouth is closed, she has a little opening that's just big enough for her tongue. But she can open her mouth really wide. Imagine she can swallow a mouse. She can really open her mouth wide and her jaws open extra wide, and the hinge on the side of her jaw opens up. We can't do that because our upper and lower jaw is attached, but in a snake they're not attached. They're not attached. And, excuse me. And so she can open her mouth really, really wide. But why is she sticking her tongue out? What does that do? They're bins where they stored grain and corn. And do you think that snakes eat corn? No. No. They eat animals. They eat mice and other rodents. What do mice eat? Do they eat corn?
No. Wait, yes.
They eat paper.
In the wild?
They eat paper. They eat paper.
Everyone quiet down so I don't have to shout.
Yes, they do.
I know you're all excited. I'm glad you're really enjoying this, but I'd rather you didn't make me shout, okay? Mice will eat seeds, and corn is a kind of seed. Okay? She wants to climb up around my neck, and I'm not going to let her. But, and I can feel the scales on her belly. If you take a look, can you see her belly? Have you ever seen Indian corn that people put out at Halloween and Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Does that look a little bit like corn?
Yes.
Her belly? She's got wide scales on her belly. Let me take questions at the end, okay? She's got wide scales on her belly, and she's got tiny muscles. It's hard for her to go completely inside her shell. She's a little fat.
Excuse me, how long do they live?
Oh, they can live a long time. 50 years.
Wow.
50 years.
A little bit, it depends. If they're taken care of in a zoo or something like that, they'll live longer. If they're not taken care of, well, I mean, she probably wouldn't have lived much longer because she couldn't open her mouth wide enough to eat. In the wild, probably about 25 years would be normal because they're predators.
So how old is she now?
Now she's about 30 years old. We got her about 6 years ago.
Wow. So that's not regular years, not like dog years or.
No, that's calendar years.
Oh, right. Okay.
Calendar years. And that's not particularly old. So here she is. Now, those of you who were with me saw this, but some of you haven't, so I'll pass this around. And take a look at this. The inside of a turtle shell is made of the turtle's spine and ribs. The spine and ribs are actually part of the shell. So do you think she could just walk right out of her shell and leave her shell behind?
No.
Nope, she can't do that. Maybe in cartoons, but not in real life. Yes, question? We don't know exactly because she was taken from the wild.
How do you know she's 30 years?
Well, because she was tiny, she was a baby when she was found, and the lady had her for about 25 years, and we've had her for about 5 years. So she's at least 30 years old. She was probably only about a year old when she was taken from the wild. So it's really not a good idea to take wild animals as pets, especially if you don't know how to take care of them. She'll never have the opportunity to mate and lay eggs and have babies. We can't release her into the wild because she has no idea
No
how to
defense
survive.
mechanism, yeah.
She's never, you know, a baby turtle has a lot of instincts, but she's been in captivity for 25, 30 years. She's forgotten how to be a wild turtle.
So she's looking for air conditioning instead of the...
Possibly. Okay, so anyone who would like to touch her is welcome to ask. And fishes are streamlined. Well, if this was a turtle that lived in the water, she would be big and streamlined too. But she has this boxy shape because she doesn't need to be streamlined. She lives on land. Obviously, she needs water to drink, but she doesn't swim. She doesn't have the right kind of feet for swimming, and she doesn't swim. She may sit in mud or a little bit of a tiny puddle when it's hot to cool off, but she doesn't actually swim. She's called a box turtle because the front of the shell on the bottom, there's a hinge. And if she was scared, she's not scared now. Her head is out, her legs are out. She's doing the box turtle swim because she's up in the air. She wants to have her feet on land, so she keeps moving her feet trying to find something solid. But if she was scared and she pulled her head, this hinge on the bottom would allow the shell to come closed and be completely closed up. And I can show you a picture of that. It's okay. It's okay. Don't have a good picture. Oh well. Anyway, but she can take my word for it. She can close up. Box turtles will eat insects, snails, millipedes, fruit, seeds, nuts, things like that. They'll live in the leaves on the forest floor, but they want to be near water. They might be in a meadow someplace. Those are the kind of places they live. Now, I know my group knows, and I'm sure Miss Megan told the other group, we never harm anything here at the visitor center in this park. We never take anything out of the wild. All animals, wild animals, belong wild. They don't make very good pets because, well, they're just not warm and cuddly. They're wild animals. And they're a lot happier outdoors in the wild. They know they come out of their shell knowing how to live outdoors in the wild. They know how to find food. They know how to be safe from predators. They know how to find everything they need. How to stay cool when it's hot and warm when it's cold. What can you tell me? Is Fluffy a reptile? Do you all know? Everybody?
Yes.
What can you tell me about the temperature of a reptile? A lot of them will hibernate. Obviously, she's in her cage here, so she doesn't hibernate. Are they warm-blooded like you and me? No. No, they're the same temperature as what's around them. So she knows, she comes out of her shell knowing how to stay warm when she needs to be warm and cool when she needs to be cool. Did you have a question? Cold-blooded, that's right. So, if it's not good, and in fact, it's not legal to take wild animals out of the wild, how come we have her in a cage here? Well, there's a story. There's a story. Fluffy was taken from the wild when she was a baby by a very nice lady who didn't realize that it was a bad idea. And she tried to take very good care of Fluffy. But she made a lot of mistakes because she really didn't know how to take care of her wild turtle. She let Fluffy have complete freedom in her apartment. Fluffy could walk anywhere she wanted to go. And she fed Fluffy cat food because cat food is designed to be well-balanced nutrition, right? And she thought she was doing a really good job taking care of Fluffy. She had Fluffy for 25 years. And when she got too old and she couldn't take care of it anymore, she was looking for someone to take it. And he said, well, we will take Fluffy, but we talked to her son about this. You have to build us a really big cage because she needs room. She's used to being, walking around in the apartment. And we'll take her, but she wasn't very.
It feels soft.
Like Canada and Maine, I think, have caribou.
One at a time. You touch it, you move back and let somebody else touch it. That's it.
I didn't even get to touch it.
All right, go.
She's pushing me.
All right, girls, stop screaming.
Excuse me. Move.
Yeah, come on in.
Be quiet. You were doing it too. How much
All right, so if you felt it, step back so I know who hasn't had a chance to feel the antler yet.
What is that piece for?
That's a part that's actually attached to their head. So I didn't go up to the deer and take it off. We find them on the ground already because they shed them, like losing a tooth, except they lose them every year.
Their antlers looks like wood.
Put the flashback. Yeah, but it's all bone now. Did anyone have a chance to feel the antler? There you go. Anybody else didn't have a chance?
It feels sophisticated.
A lot of people say that it feels like plastic, but it's bone.
It feels
It's actually bone.
Miss Megan?
Yeah.
When an animal camouflage, other animals smell the animal's hiding.
It depends.
I think it's small.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Keep walking. Let's go. But yeah, we said touch it. Don't pick it.
Somebody
Your
made a
animals
hole
here, they might
in
come
it.
out and attack you. So walk.
They just don't mock things like mockingbirds do, but they do make a lot of squeaking, squawking sounds. And you're gonna know why they call it a catbird. What does it sound like to you? Sounds like a cat, right?
There's a bug in your hair.
That's kind of like saying, oh, you know, when they're not being too much happy about seeing things. But they also make, this is the sound I was doing when we were walking.
Bugs came out.
Those are goldfinches that are calling right now. Sound between
You see that? You see that back there?
Yeah, watch it. If you're having any cameras, make sure you have them good grip. Don't put them
Put it around your
yeah.
wrist. What's the
It is.
string? Okay, good.
Where's it doesn't move? Where's it? I don't see it. Oh, look at the Louis Vuitton.
Maybe they'll
Yeah,
come out.
that's probably the turtle.
That's so adorable. They look negative.
And dog-vane beetles are, oops, I'm sorry. Dog-vane beetles are technically.
It's a little rainbow color.
Once you guys seen it, how about you guys step back so your other friends could see the dog-vane beetle. They're really cool to see. Okay, that's actually Doug from a chipmunk, and they have little chambers or burrows within that. They might have one where they'll sleep. They might have another little burrow under there where they'll put their food.
So that's where they hibernate?
Yeah. Yep, they'll go back under here, and actually for the winter they'll close up that hole. They'll close it up for the winter time. So they're not really true hibernators. They'll wake up anyway, eat. They'll store their food down there and they'll eat. Okay. They have pockets in their cheeks. They could probably store about 3 nuts per cheek, and go down there and go back out, look for more food, go back down. All right, so they'll make a nice pile of food for them for the winter time. But yeah, that's where they'll spend most of the winter time, is back down in there too. Little tiny. That would be one big worm. If you're absolutely right.
That works.
All right? And I just saw a few of them running, so we might see it. So there's actually another one over there. So any type of hole about that size or so are all from chipmunks. So if you see a much bigger hole, it could be from a fox or groundhog. Okay?
That means go that way. Move over some.
I want to make sure that
Joy,
everyone can see.
come around now.
But when that's filled up in the spring, it's a great habitat for animals to lay their eggs in because there's not a lot of predators that live there that would like to eat eggs. For example, like fish. All right, fish like to eat animals' eggs, but fish can't live out of water, so they can't live in a pool like this. They have to live like in a pond or a stream or a lake where there's water all year round. So because this is a good habitat to lay eggs in, we do have frogs that will lay their eggs in here sometimes. There will be at least 2 species of frogs. And most importantly, there's a type of salamander that lives here in New Jersey that's actually an endangered species in New Jersey. You guys know what endangered means, right?
Yes.
Who can tell me what endangered means? Yeah.
Like extinct.
Was that extinct?
Yeah.
Yeah, they could become extinct, you're right. Meaning there's not many of them left. And this is a great area for them, being that this land is protected. They don't have to worry about losing their habitats because that's one of the main causes of why animals become endangered or even extinct. And it's called the blue-spotted salamander. He's about 3 to 5.5 inches long. So it's probably you could get about that big.
Is he poisonous?
No. And then for something to be poisonous, it would mean that you would have to eat it to get sick. For example, like that red mushroom, that big red mushroom, you don't want to eat that red mushroom because I believe those guys are poisonous mushrooms. Okay? But it's called a blue-spotted salamander, and we have seen them here. And they have laid eggs in vernal pools like this one. So it's just a good thing to see because we want to see that. We want their numbers to come back up. We don't want to lose these guys. Because everything in nature is important. Might not be your favorite thing, but it's here for a reason. Land that's set aside to keep safe. So we call it a refuge. Okay? So that just means that we don't want people walking here and picking flowers and mushrooms and taking animals or other wildlife out of the swamp. Everything has to stay here. They're safe. It's kind of like preserve. So that's why there's a sign that says no picking, no collecting. But you're always more than welcome to take pictures. We always say, yeah, you can take as many pictures as you like. You can actually pass this back and smell it.
Anyone allergic to nuts, period?
If you're allergic to any nuts, just don't touch it at all, just to be on the safe side.
Actually, I think we won't touch it because they don't know if they'll have a reaction.
Then we won't do that.
Yeah.
But if you're with your parents, okay, and they might know and they're with you, these hickory nuts actually have a nice smell to it.
You can walk around and let them smell it, or maybe let them pass you and smell it, maybe.
Let's see if I can get a strong aroma so they don't have to touch it.
Well, even the smell might make you have a reaction. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe better not.
Yeah,
we
better not, because
I don't want anyone having any problems on here. Like, oh my goodness, I would feel so bad. But this is actually food for the wildlife. So squirrels, chipmunks, deer, turkeys, bear. Even bear will eat nuts too. I'll leave it there. You can just look at it with your eyes.
Yeah, just look at
Other trails, but all our trails here, most of them actually come back here. There's only 2 trails that you actually have to get to them by other trails. But this trail, the red trail, and our green trail all link back to the building somehow. So the orange trail is our biggest trail. It's about 0.6 miles, so it's not even a mile. And it's one big loop. So we're going to be following the orange squares. So if you've never been here before and never been to a park before, and you've always pick a route, okay, I'm going to go on the orange trail because that's how long I want to go, all right? You follow those squares and always get you back where you started, for the most part. Trail, we make sure that doesn't happen. Okay? So yeah, and I will definitely show you what it looks like in case you don't know what it looks like. Some bees and wasps make their nests off trail on the ground, so you want to step off the trail and, you know, step on a nest because that's how you'll disturb it. Okay? Anything else why you don't want to walk off the trail? Think about things you don't want. You probably would kick it and scream and probably bite it. Right?
No, but stab it.
Kind of the same thing with the snakes. They're just trying to protect themselves. So you don't have to worry about anything flying out of trees and attacking you, because that only happens in movies, and we all know that half the things you see in movies. But just because they're venomous doesn't mean they're going to come out of trees and bite you. Okay? They don't want to waste their venom on you, because we're too big. So they're not just going to bite you just because they're going to bite you. Alright? And any snake, in fact, is not just going to come out of nowhere and bite you, because you're too big. Alright? What's the point of biting you? Alright? But if you pick it up and go, oh, look at you.